So I just finished writing the script. Well, not as I'm writing it, but as I'm saying it, not the point. But Deadpool and Wolverine has been out for about a day now, and I saw it yesterday. What did I think of it? Well, I actually thought it was really good. In my opinion, it's a 9 out of 10 movie. Well, I will have to watch it a few more times before I have a definitive answer. But just off the first time, I do think it's a 9 out of 10. Why not a 10 out of 10? Well, today I want to talk about what I thought could be better, what was good, what was better, and more about the movie. But as I'm doing now, I'm going to be building a Deadpool and Wolverine logo in the background in Minecraft, just because I thought, why not, you know? Okay, so let's start with the jokes. As far as the jokes go, all of them hit. I mean, I think I laughed at every single one, and I probably laughed more than I have ever laughed in a movie theater, which already makes this movie super good. Then on top of that, for some people I heard them say, the gore was too much, well, the action was too much. But for me, he doesn't really get disgusted by gore at all. I thought all the action was super creative and very entertaining. And yeah, I don't even know how to elaborate on that. It was so good. The action was magnificent. Real quick also, guys, I will say some spoilers. So if you don't want to see spoilers, click off. Go watch Deadpool and Wolverine. Come back and watch this video. 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, you're too late. I'm going to say a spoiler. So, the action scene where Deadpool fights with Logan's corpse was actually so cool. In the intro with him dancing, I'm going to use the best start to a movie I've seen probably ever, but there's probably a better intro I've watched. I don't know. I thought it was a very good intro, though. So, as far as the story and the plot goes, it was like an 8 out of 10. Again, that's not set in stone. It's just what I think, only seeing it once. The reason the story wasn't a 10 out of 10 is because there were a few super interesting moments, but I think that was okay and almost needed to happen, so we could see more of Deadpool's humor and Wolverine's interaction with that. What could have been better with the story? Well, not much, actually. I think it's just kind of simple, which is good, but I think there could have been more interesting moments as far as the story goes. Could have been more deep and jaw-dropping story moments. Not like cameos or funny jokes. When I say that, I'm just not saying less funny jokes or cameos. I loved every single moment in this movie, which is why I still keep it very high on my list of favorite movies ever, and will stay there for a long time, but it still could have used a bit of a better story. What type of movie do I think this is? Well, I actually don't think it's a send-off to the X-Men. I think it's more of a send-off to the Fox X-Men. Let me clarify that. Fox X-Men. A lot of people, I think, because it was showing all the movies of the Fox X-Men. So I think that's why they didn't have like Charles Xavier and other super big X-Men in this movie. Because I think, in my opinion, it would have taken away from the other cameos in the movie and wouldn't have made it as good. They did have some big cameos like Blade or Johnny Storm, and I'll talk more about Johnny Storm and Blade later. But I do like how they put like other ones like Elektra, and then also they had X-23, which was really cool to see her older version of her, because the last time I saw her, she was like, I think 13, maybe younger. I know it's not the same one, but it was just cool to see her growing up. Again, Johnny Storm as Chris Evans was so funny. I mean, the part where Deadpool makes fun of Disney for being cheap and getting Captain America, the part where he says Avengers, and then Johnny Storm says Flame On. Dude, I was dying. I thought that was so funny. Because he was like, he thought it was Captain America, and then he says Flame On. It was just so funny. And then the end credit scene where he proves he didn't technically kill him, because he literally says, you can quote me on that. And he bro did quote him on that. It's like, I don't know. Okay, real quick, I'm going to rate all the cameos from worst to best. Number 15, Sabretooth. Now, this one you'll probably disagree with, because if I'm being honest, I've watched all the X-Men movies and didn't even really know who he was until the trailer came out. Was a little disappointing, because I did not actually think he was going to say people have been waiting decades for this fight, which again is my fault, but I think that was actually going to be Wolverine versus Hulk. But I'm sure a lot of people really enjoyed him, not as much as I did. More than I did. Number 14, Toad and the other random X-Men villains, like the Devil Dude. I don't even know what his name is. But, assuming Sabretooth, I don't really know who these guys are. But it was still cool to see the different characters knowing they were in other movies. Number 13, Happy Hogan. Happy Hogan was cool because it was showing us Deadpool's in the MCU now and kind of connected that. But again, wasn't in there for that long and isn't that special of a character, so that's why he's 13. 12, Juggernaut. I rank him differently than the other characters because it was cool to see the Juggernaut, how his helmet was how they got to Cassandra. So yeah. Number 11, Elektra. Again, didn't really know who this character was, but it was still very cool and that she had an important role, and that's why she's number 11. Number 10, Pyro. Pyro's also higher than the other random X-Men villains because he had more of a prominent role. He had contact with Paradox and tried to kill Cassandra, which didn't end up working, but still cool to see he tried to turn on her. Number 9, Hulk. He was only here for a few seconds, but still very cool to see him. I do wish we got to see Wolverine and Hulk fight, but I do imagine they're saving that later for movies like Secret Wars or something like that. Number 8, Gambit. Even though I had basically no idea who this guy was before the movie, he is a very cool character, and I love all the jokes with him, including his accent and how Deadpool didn't understand him. It was all so funny. Number 7, Hunter B-15. She was one of my favorite characters in Loki, and I feel like the MCU has been missing connection a little over all these projects. I mean, if there is connection, there can be a lot of projects and make it not feel too crowded, because then you're like, oh, this movie matches with this movie, instead of like trying to like connect them all when they don't even connect, so that really does help. And I mean, my jaw literally dropped when she first showed, so yeah. Number 6, Blade. I never watched the Blade movie, but again, I don't have to. This man is so cool, like the way he moves, everything. And the joke about him being the last Blade and then Deadpool looking straight at the camera and just knowing that there's gonna be another Blade movie, that was so funny. Number 5, all Deadpool variants. I feel like this is showing how cool the multiverse truly can be. Like, just to show a bunch of different Deadpool variants, like Cowboy Pool, Deadpool, Nice Pool, Lady Pool, Dog Pool, Baby Pool, Kid Pool. Like, they're all so cool. That's like showing how cool the multiverse can be. But I kind of do wish we got to see more of them, because they weren't in there for that long, and it was kind of disappointing that we didn't get to see them more. So hopefully we do get to see more of the Deadpool Corps. Number 4, Henry Cavill, Wolverine. I was not expecting this guy at all. While before the movie came out, I was, like a while before, then somebody told me he wasn't in it, which just made it 10 times better, because I was not expecting it at all. I thought it was just going to be only Hugh Jackman variants, so I wasn't expecting him at all, and it was super cool. So I would love to see him more as Wolverine, because he looked very good as Wolverine. Number 3, X-23. If I'm being honest, X-23 might be number 2 if it wasn't spoiled in the final trailer, and I so wish they didn't put in it, or if I didn't watch it, because it would have made it so much better. But it's still my number 3, because of all the old X-Men movies. I did watch Logan, and that one was an absolute masterpiece, and I loved X-23, and it's super cool to see her again. Number 2, Johnny Storm, or Captain America. I'm sure some people did actually think it was Captain America, but I knew it was Cap. I knew that because my cousin was talking to me about Deadpool 3 while I was recording another video with him, and he accidentally told me he was in it. But even then, I was so excited to see Chris Evans in the MCU again, even if it wasn't Captain America. Real quick, honorable mention, Wolverine variants. The thing about these guys is I didn't know where to put them, because they're kind of just there, and like I thought it was cool that there was like a short pool, like a comic accurate one, the one where he's versing the Hulk. Like, they were all pretty cool. But number 1, I put Wolverine. I mean, I get that he was in the entire movie and we knew about it, but I feel like it still counts as a cameo to me, so I'm putting him here. If there's any cameos I forgot, let me know. But moving on from character cameos, they did really well with like object and location cameos, like Egyptian pyramids and Ant-Man's dead corpse and Charles Xavier's car, or chair, the helicarrier, the 20th Century Fox logo, the Red Skull car. Like, it was just so cool to see these little details. And even like the Honda van they drove in that popped up multiple times throughout the movie, that was just so cool. And like how he kept making jokes about how it's kind of crap, and then he said it wasn't crap. Like, I thought that was funny. I mean, he's not wrong. I guarantee some people are going to complain about this movie because that's all they know. Okay, I'm getting a little sidetracked. One thing I was worried about, though, is this movie's comedy would be too much or not be funny. But I think Wolverine perfectly comboed that. He made things stay serious, but also made jokes even funnier. Him saying the F word in every sentence basically, was also very funny. The villain Cassandra Nova was good. The same thing again with a lot of other things. I wish we got to see more of her because she was a great villain and she had a very good plot twist where you think she's good and then she's not. When I say you think she's good, it was like when she let them leave and then she ended up wanting to try and kill every timeline anyway. So she wasn't really good. It was just her way to get to Paradox, I'm pretty sure. And it was cool to see how Paradox kind of worked with her, but also didn't. It was good. Paradox trying to break the TVA's rules and how in season 2 the TVA was good, but then he's trying to go back to the old TVA. I thought that was a good plot point. Another thing with connection, with all the movies, is how Deadpool breaks the fourth wall and says, Elias, the thing from Loki season 1, episode 5, was very funny and probably explained to a lot of people who Elias is and what he's from who didn't know who he was, who haven't watched Loki. I have. It was a very good show. I recommend you go watch it, but still. The next thing that defines a movie is the music. And the music in this movie was so good. Not perfect, but I loved every single song they used in all the action scenes. I mean, it's so good. Maybe not as good as the Guardians music, but still so good. And then the Avengers theme song at that one part gave me literal chills. Or I guess it was the Captain America song. I don't know. But it gave me chills. And for anybody asking, how does he know about the Avengers? Bro can break the fourth wall. He knows what the Avengers are, guys. He knows what the Avengers are. I don't know what you guys, that's his power. He can break the fourth wall. And he also knows what we want. And he also wants to impress Vanessa because they broke up and he wanted her back. So that argument doesn't really make any sense. Now let's talk about the end and where the movie could go. First of all, I'm so glad they didn't die at the end because it was so heart-wrenching there. I mean, my heart was beating so fast because at that point I cared so much about both of the characters and I don't think I was ready to see those characters go because I think that's what we need in Secret Wars. So I'm so glad. And I'm super excited to see a multiversal team because I think that is what will happen. I think we'll see a multiversal team. And the reason for that is because B-15, what she said at the end, but it might not. I don't know. I think it will. Okay, a question so many of you are probably asking is if I think it could save the MCU. Well, real quick, let me say this. It will not stand alone save the MCU, but I think it was a great start. I do know a lot of people who gave up on the MCU, and this brought them back hope. So now they definitely have more of a chance, and the trailer definitely does look very good for Cap 4. I'm not as hyped for that movie as I was for Deadpool, but I'm still excited and think it could do very well. But again, this doesn't directly save the MCU, and also, I never really thought the MCU was dead, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie. By the way, I didn't have enough to yap about, so here's the build. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, I thought the movie was really good. I can't wait till it comes out on Disney Plus because I really want to watch this again. Also, I'll probably be doing more videos like this around once a month. So hopefully you like this type of video. Let me know, and peace.